What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, well, we have our first town hall of the new year. This was on January 2nd, Monday, January 2nd, which is technically a holiday here in the US. So shout out to the team for doing this on a day when they should technically be off. But, you know, this is an international game, so it makes sense for them to check in with us, and we do appreciate it. Now, for those who might be new to the channel or new to the series, every week or whenever there is a town hall, I go through and give my 5 biggest takeaways. So this is not a summary. There are fantastic written and video content creators out there that put together much more broad summaries, and I would highly recommend giving them some support. Check them out. For me, this is just the 5 things that stuck out to me the most, but this was actually quite a jam-packed this is quite a jam-packed town hall, unsurprisingly. And you'll see here, I'm just going to scroll down quickly, and you'll see there's a bunch of bonus stuff. So I just want to mention the bonus stuff because a lot of it is time frames. A lot of it is, you know, just quick thoughts that I want people to be aware of. And then I actually probably think that this will be kind of the next couple of videos that I go through are some of those bonus ones, because I do want to get into them a little bit more, or go into a little bit more depth. Okay, so we'll just start right from the top here. Number 1, there was a huge focus on Soulbound reward cards. We got a lot of alpha leaked during this town hall, and these are set to come out in January, so less than 30 days, or, you know, within the next 29 days, since we're already at the end of January 2nd here. Now, the Soulbound reward cards, one of the things that people have been worried about is, will they be able to be unlocked? If they are soulbound forever, then that kind of sucks. It defeats the purpose, blah, 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 all that. Well, right now, again, nothing is set in stone, but the team is also not rushing to make a decision, because they don't need to make a decision until after the print run is over. But the thought right now is that they can be unlocked in some way. Again, this hasn't been decided. Maybe you pay the burn value, which I think that's what Aggie was trying to get at when he was talking about staking DEC. It's like, if you burn the amount of DEC that somebody can burn, that somebody can receive from burning the card, to me, that seems like totally cool for unlocking it. So you'll be able to unlock it in one way or another. So for all the people who are like really, really anti Soulbound reward cards, I think this is the solution. So if you've been here leaving comments or on Twitter or wherever, letting me know that you are not happy with Soulbound reward cards, does this change your mind? Like, can we move on to the next thing now, right? Because there's a lot of stuff still. But I just want to know if this was good enough for you to say, okay, I'm in, right? Let's go Soulbound reward cards. I'm totally cool with that, as long as I can collect as many as I can, like their Pokemon, throughout the entire print run, and then after the print run is over, I can sell them or unlock them or whatever the case is. Now, in order to try and get better reward cards, because I think the other issue is, well, you know, if the reward cards go live tomorrow, I'm going to be playing level 1 cards, because it takes a while for me to level mine up to gold or diamond plus. Well, you'll also be able to use potions with them, which is really cool. Again, we get potions so much now, especially at the higher levels, that they're just kind of sitting there, and I'm not using them to open packs. So I want them to, I want to use them for something. I don't want them to just be this kind of inflationary anti-DEC burn mechanism, because that's exactly what they are. If I just keep stacking them now, between now and whenever I decide to buy like packs for Rebellion or Rift Watchers, for example, I'll probably have like tens of thousands of them. So using them for the reward cards, I think, is actually fantastic, and I'm hopeful that we can. I'm hopeful that we'll actually be able to create a little bit more of a DEC sync with potions once again. The other thing with the Soulbound reward cards is they want to make these cards really good. Matt was talking about a couple of new abilities that are going to make them very desirable. So the first of which sounds like a summoner ability, which we didn't get exact confirmation. Oh, excuse me. It's late, guys. I'm trying to record this before the end of the day. So we didn't get exact confirmation on this ability conscript, but it sounds like a summoner ability, meaning that there might be, I mean, I'm assuming it has to be a summoner that, you know, I'm sorry, a summoner reward card. And the ability is that you are able to use gladiator cards in a ranked battle. And if you decide to use this summoner, or if there's a monster maybe that has this ability in it, you'll actually be able to use 2 gladiator cards in brawls or like the upcoming gladiator tournaments, for example. So again, I think that's a pretty cool concept. I think it opens up a lot of it opens up a lot of changes in the meta, even within ranked. So I'm actually really excited about that. Again, I'm excited about the Soulbound Reward cards regardless. The other ability that he leaked a little bit was weapons training. And he talked about how there's like 3 different types of attacks, right? You have your melee, you have your range, and you have your magic. But there's actually a 4th attack type, which is no attack. And so wanting to add some value, there are going to be monsters that have the ability called weapons training. And anytime you put them next to next to a monster that does not have a certain ability, or that doesn't have not an ability, but that doesn't have an attack, they will essentially adopt or mimic the same attack type. So imagine putting like a 3 melee attack person, or 3 melee attack monster with weapons training on Bakjira, right? So all of a sudden this tank can actually attack and can heal itself. I don't know, stuff like that sounds really cool. I'm excited for it. And the fact is we're going to get this within the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed, hopefully, that there aren't any major delays. But I'm very much looking forward to the Soulbound Reward cards. And I hope that a lot of the questions that were answered in today's town hall can alleviate the concerns for people that were very much against them. Okay, let's move to number 2. Although, was there something else that I wanted to talk about with Soulbound Reward cards? I guess not. Okay, so number 2, Community Representative Committee. Now, people have been talking about this in Mav Chat for a while. I am totally for it because the biggest thing that I think we're missing right now is player proposals. I think everybody wants that because everybody thinks they have an amazing idea, right? Like, I'm guilty of it too. I actually don't think all my ideas are amazing. I just like to put them out there. But there are a lot of fantastic ideas out there. And so the idea behind this is that we don't have, I guess, the validators up and running. I'm not sure why we need it for that, but I'll take the team's word. So until we can get that up and running, we can't get, player what's that called? Player proposals. But what we can do is potentially elect a community, committee that represents us and takes some of the best ideas to the team. Now, there's been a lot of names thrown out already. I've seen a lot of names in the chat or in Mav Chat across Discord. I'm even at the point, not that I want to single anybody out in a good way or a bad way. I'm at the point where I don't even care. I don't even care who is on this committee because I just think there are a lot of great ideas out there, and I just want somebody in Yaba and Aggie's ear talking about this stuff that the community is putting out there. There's a bunch of phenomenal people that I would nominate or vote for. So if this is something that you want to do and get involved in, this might be your time to start campaigning and start seeing, who would support you on this. But either way, I think it's a win-win, unless you get somebody on there that just absolutely wants to destroy the game. But I think we can easily weed those people out just in case. But I really like this. I'm hoping that we can get it set up. It sounds like Matt and Weirby are committed to getting something that's actually like mechanical, or has a way of in which it can be preserved or processed. That's the mechanical. What am I thinking? A process in which this can be followed. So I don't know what this looks like, but I would love to see some of the amazing folks we have in this community that are very, very engaged and have their ear to the ground. I would love to see them play this role if they're willing to, of course, and just be someone that can represent the community and hopefully get a lot more proposals from the community into the team's ear so that we just know that we're being heard. Okay, Number 3, the DECB proposal was another very, very large topic. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out when it comes to the DECB proposal. Now, Matt was actually quite defensive of this, and I back him 100% because I only learned about this recently. If you watched one of the previous live streams I did with Foyer, I think last week, and that is this DECB proposal, this came from the community. And as Foyer called it, it was a gift to the whales. So if you're going to be mad at someone, don't be mad at the team. You should get mad at the whales. I mean, I'm sure, I guess you can get mad at the team for listening to the whales, but you know, at the end of the day, like the whales run this thing. That's just what it comes down to, right? So I wouldn't put it on the team. This is something that the whales and actually when we go back to number 2, you know, community representative committee, like a lot of these folks who've invested a ton of money are also some of the loudest in the chat. And so, you know, I don't know who ends up dominating this community rep committee, but all I'm saying is that this was almost like a community proposal in the sense that it was created in MavChat. It was created with a lot of private conversations with players who hold a lot of assets, right? Or that, you know, have the team's ear. So in that way, we'll see how this plays out. But I think it's very telling, like, just where the community is from like an emotional standpoint, right? With how they responded to the DECB proposal. And don't get me wrong, there were a lot of concerns, which I think Matt did a decent job. Matt did a decent job addressing today. I don't know that I necessarily agree with all of them, but 2 of them were vouchers and inflation, right? And so, and those are somewhat related in a way because vouchers, for example, it's giving utility to vouchers. We've all been asking for more utility from vouchers. And then on the flip side of this, it's saying, well, if you use vouchers to create more DEC, well, that's DEC inflation. And technically, that is true, right? And that's one of the things that was like, okay, well, I think if all vouchers are burned today, it would print like an additional 1.2 billion DECB, not DEC. But again, you know, if that's pulling from future demand, that could create an issue. Although I'm not worried about future demand. I think land is going to eat up billions, tens of billions worth of DEC, but that's besides the point. But Matt actually pointed out something really interesting, and that is the fact that vouchers count as a discount. So if you go back to the most recent promo card, not Archibus the Bear, because that was a special one that was tied to packs rather than, you know, being bought with DEC. If you were to buy Lux Vega, you could choose to buy the entirety of it with DEC, which was 1 million DEC, or you could save up to half by buying with vouchers. So in a way, that kind of prevented the burning. Well, and that probably wouldn't have even been burning. I think that was revenue for the team. But either way, that prevented like half the DEC for that entire promo card from going to the team or getting locked up somewhere safe. And so that actually made a lot of sense to me, and I'm not super worried about the inflation anymore. I wasn't already, if you saw the video from last week, but now even more so. It's just like, all right, if we can give vouchers some kind of sync, and we can get the next item. So let's just jump down to that. But we can get promo cards every quarter, and then you got things like guild alliances and whatever else that might be using vouchers, Rift Watcher packs, right? Rebellion in the future. Again, I would love for vouchers to go to the moon. I would love for vouchers to be super high because I happily sell them every day, even though they're 7 cents now. But the point is that, well, okay, I want to get to point number 4. So let's actually move there. They want to move towards this promo cards every quarter. Now, the last year, 2022, we got Waka in February as like this random thing that just came about. We were told about this other athlete that ended up falling through. We were kind of like hanging on to it for several months. And then, of course, we got Lux Vega towards the end of the year after Splinterfest. I like the idea of there being something every quarter. And if it ends up being a DEC burn or a voucher burn or a combination of both, I am totally for it. This is also something that people in the community, myself included, have been asking for. We want regular promo cards that will burn DEC, or at the very least, lock it up by giving it to the team if the team considers it revenue, and burns vouchers. I think either of those would be fantastic, or a combination of both. So again, here is the team listening to our concerns and trying to put something on the roadmap. Now, speaking of roadmap, they didn't have the actual nice, pretty roadmap today, which is so disappointing because, I mean, we were told 2 weeks ago that we were going to get it this time around. But again, I feel like Matt did a good job talking through what the first 6 months of the year would look like. So hopefully we'll get that soon. But yeah, overall, I like that. I think it's great. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we're going to get one now because obviously we still have the Winterfest promotion, but it could be cool to get one, I don't know, early April, right? Especially right after Chaos Legion sells out or burns out. That'd be kind of cool. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and number 5 to close this out, we got a little bit of an update on tower defense. Now, Hardpoint has completely pivoted away from tower defense, it seems. Or I think he's still doing the development of it, but he is no longer doing the kind of product design. So it sounds like Matt is on top of that, which is great. Not that Hardpoint was going to do a bad job, but obviously Matt is trying to plan out the tokenomics and the whole economy for the entirety of Splinterlands. So him having his hands, getting his hands dirty essentially with that and being on the ground, I think is going to be a great thing. Now, the good thing about tower defense is Matt said that they're trying to get a demo out in January, which again is this month. So that's kind of cool. He did say they're still shooting for a Q1 launch, which will probably slip into Q2. So I think I called it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I kind of expected that. It was a bit hopeful of me, but it's good to know that the project is still alive. Like I said, I was really starting to get a little worried that something like this might just sit on the shelf, right, indefinitely until the market can recover. And so the fact that it is still being worked on, even though we're not getting the dev diary updates, it's still being worked on. We may have a demo very soon, and Q2 launch hopefully should be just around the corner here, which is going to be really exciting. So those are the 5 biggest things, but honestly, there was a lot more within there. So I'm just going to quickly run over the bonus stuff. For the release tomorrow, we are getting the ability to set your Rooney as your in-game avatar. So I think that's really exciting. We are also getting Immortalis before Cryptomancer comes back from vacation. What is this? This button should have been pressed, but we're not going to go there. But I'm excited to get Immortalis. It's going to be fun. Hopefully it'll be a great start to the first week of the year. Hopefully the RNG is ever in my favor. Okay, now, land survey potions. Now, there's going to be a proposal for this, but as of now, the team is thinking that they'll be 10,000 DEC each, which, again, that's kind of what I was hearing through the grapevine. A couple of other things that they're planning on the roadmap, or at least what Matt mentioned, is they want to implement season rentals. I believe that is supposed to be for Q1. And then sleeves, if you're familiar with this, Aggie talked about it maybe a month or 2 ago, where he wanted to get essentially like, it's all about the new player experience. And I didn't even like cover a lot of the other new player experience that they wanted to do. But they want to get, if you have like an entire set, right, that is maxed for bronze or maxed silver or maxed gold. And again, like when I talk about an entire set, I'm talking about like Chaos Legion or Rift Watchers. Or you could expand it to the entire like epoch, right? I think is the word that Weeber used a while ago, where it would include all the reward cards associated with like Chaos Legion that have the same border. If you had them all maxed for a certain level, you could package them together in a sleeve and choose to rent out the entire sleeve, which makes it a lot easier for you to rent out your deck, for example, but also a lot easier for newer players to come in and take advantage, because it's a one-click thing. They come in and they say, all right, somebody's going to rent this to me for X amount of dollars. I can rent it for the entire season, right? Because that's what they're offering it for, and I'm good to go. I can play this game for 2 weeks, see if I like it or not. But at least it gives the person the opportunity to jump in right away and hit the ground running. So I'm looking forward to those. SPS validators, the only update is that on this is that we got we potentially are going to get the testnet in Q1. I think they want to try and get more stuff in Q2, but we'll wait to hear more information on that. Speaking of Q2 though, SPS staking is something that Matt said they're aiming for in Q2. Now, this is probably the most important thing, and this is why I'm saying I need to do like a separate video on this, but The SPS staking, and Matt literally said this, the SPS staking that is in the white paper is not really what they're planning to do anymore. And so this is why my note here is like, it's not fully defined yet. Like everybody's like arguing about like, oh, did the white paper say this? Did the white paper not? Did Aggie mention this like in the chat? Did he not? And I'm not sorry, I'm not trying to throw shade at any of the content creators. They're providing the information. It's just now we know for sure that nobody's right, right? Like, so we know for sure that nobody has gotten this right because the team hasn't even fully figured it out. The only thing that we know is that it's most likely going to replace collection power as the metric in which, defines like what league you can play in. So in that way, I kind of like it because, I'm going to save this for the video. The only thing I don't like about SPS staking in general, and this is personally why I feel like the team has been struggling on this. Again, I don't know why exactly, but if I was in the team's position and I had said that I wanted to do this in the white paper, I would be struggling because I'm like, this isn't scalable. We're talking about burning tons of SPS. And so, again, but that's just me. So we'll save that for a separate video. I just wanted to give you the update that they are trying to get Q2 or staking by Q2. This is a major thing here that I didn't realize, but Matt touched upon several times. The SPS DAO is actually a tournament sponsor. And what Matt was saying is that, from a ranked play, they want to keep things decentralized. But when it comes to tournaments, Weirdbeard has been on this whole like anti-competitive, there shouldn't be bots and all that. I fully agree. And Matt and Aggie are okay with like doing KYC or doing something for tournaments because tournaments are usually sponsored. Now, granted, we haven't had anybody from the outside, I don't think, come in and like sponsor tournaments outside of like smaller games or other projects on the Hive blockchain. But if the SPS DAO is a tournament sponsor, then I would very much think that there should be a whole tournament overhaul. Now, the problem is that you probably have a lot of the largest SPS stakers in the game that are playing and benefiting from these tournaments. So they would probably vote against an overhaul. But I just personally think, if the SPS DAO is the tournament sponsor for all of these tournaments that are coming from, that are being paid out from the white paper's initial distribution, I mean, how, like, it cannot be anti-competitive and rampant with bots, private bots, public bots. It doesn't really matter what it is. To me, that's just, it sets such a bad tone for the game. But we'll get more into that probably in a separate video. And then lastly, Matt and Aggie were asked directly, do you run bots? And they both said, we do not. They played around with it, I guess, early on, but they said they do not run bots. So there you have it. There you have it. Now it falls on you. And this is gonna sound wrong if I say it in this way, but like they have said it. They've been asked directly and they have said it. So essentially, it just falls on you in the community, or you specifically that's watching this video, to decide whether or not you want to believe them. Now, I'm not saying that to throw any kind of suspicion their way. I'm just saying that it's been asked and they have answered, right? And so now you have to ask yourself the question of how much do you trust the words that come from the team? Now, I personally, it's good enough for me. Could they be lying? Absolutely. But could they be lying about a bunch of stuff? Absolutely. But if they were, and if I got that vibe, I probably wouldn't have stayed in this game very long. So I do think that Aggie and Matt are trying to create something that has the, that has lasting power and that has all of the things that, Aggie's pushing forward with his peace, prosperity, and freedom. And so again, it's like, could that be the case? I know I've seen that a lot in my comments lately. Absolutely. I'm going to take them at their word and believe that they don't run bots. That's it. That is what it is. Now, can you say that for other team members? Probably not. We'd have to get all of them on there. But ultimately, with the whole bot conversation, it doesn't really matter anyway if we're trying to build a decentralized game. I just wanted to say, or just point out that they both said that they did not run bots. So, for people trying to throw the tinfoil hat conspiracy theories out there, it's now it falls to you on whether or not you believe them. And so I choose to believe them. And I am excited for where the game is headed. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. It ended up being a little bit longer, but there was a lot of stuff to cover and a lot of stuff that I didn't even get to cover. But let me just say this. Listening to Town Hall, I'm not optimistic about the market, right? Aggie kept talking about, oh, we're back in a bull run and 2023 is going to be better. I'm hopeful, but I think it still gets worse before it gets better. I think we find a bottom, which means, sure, we get back to the bull run because we start from the bottom of the bull run in like mid 2023. So I don't know what happens, but all of the stuff that they're working on and all the timeframes that they gave for those things, I am super excited about. So, hopefully you guys are in the same position or at least got something out of it. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments below. What you took away from this as being something positive, what you're missing, or what you would want to get more clarification on. And we'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.